Okay. So welcome everyone to another interactive session on career guidance. Today we are going to learn about life sciences in general. And the speaker for today is Isha Abhyankar. Isha is an ongoing PhD student at CSIR NCL, and she's an expert. Her background is in microbiology and she's an expert in biological sciences. But she's going to touch upon and talk about various aspects of life sciences in general, which includes topics like ecology, zoology, biotechnology, and others, which are like a lot for the session. It's a lot for 1 hour, I'm sure, but Isha I'm sure, will do a good job. So welcome Isha to this platform, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'll just share the screen now.
Oh, you want
Yeah.
screen sharing access? Yep, there you go. So before you go ahead and talk about these different aspects of life sciences and tell us more about the career opportunities there, maybe let us get started by knowing more about yourself. So why don't you describe your journey from maybe high school to what your position now?
Okay. So first of all, thank you, Saurabh, for inviting me for this interactive session. And as you said or you have described in the introduction, that my graduation and post-graduation is in microbiology. But instead of just focusing upon that particular domain, we decided that I'll talk about entire life sciences as such. And to make it easier, I have prepared few slides. So it will be easier for the students to grasp, because it can be all the different terms and the domains can be confusing. So just to simplify it, I've put up few slides. And from as the session goes, maybe I'll discuss about myself and just take you through all of that path, if that works.
I think having slides is a good way to put forth your ideas in front of
you. Yes, because just talking about it, you don't get a clear picture of what exactly is there. So I think that slides will help. Okay. Yeah. Are the slides visible?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. Okay, I'll begin.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so today I'm going to talk about careers in life sciences, and I don't want to scare you off by big heavy names and all the different names of bacteria and all the species. So I'll simplify it as much as I can so that it's easier for you to understand and grasp. So to begin with, what is basically life sciences? So as the name suggests, science means to study something, and life sciences as a whole is to understand how life evolves. Now here in the life sciences, basically we study life in all its forms. It includes the past forms as well as the present forms. So basically life sciences is divided into 5 different domains. So the first one is zoology. First one is ecology, followed by zoology, botany, geology. And then there are sister branches which include the microbiology and the biotechnology. So I will briefly talk about all the different domains, and I will highlight more on microbiology and biotechnology because that is my area of expertise. So it will not be nice of me to, go into details of the other branches which I don't know of. So I'll focus only on microbiology.
Yeah.
So first, to begin with, ecology is, as the name suggests, so any word that in school also right now you must be having biology as a subject. So logy means to study, and ecology is study of the environment. So basically ecosystem and everything that deals with ecosystem and environment is what is included in ecology. So here in ecology, it involves environment. So now you would wonder, what is there to study in the environment? I mean, why would you study environment? So it is actually very important and interesting as well. So in ecosystem, it means everything: the plants, the animals, then the pollution, sustainability options, then global changes, global warming, everything that is a part of the ecosystem is something that is included in the ecology section. So that is what you study. Now, if you decide to go for ecology as a career choice, then there are certain degree programs that are present. So in India, and I'm sure outside also, we have similar opportunities. So the basic degrees here is a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD. So this is generally the path that you can take, but there are different industry options or different field work options that are available after masters as well. So you like, it's not a compulsion that you have to go to PhD level. You can just graduate and have a master's degree in ecology and other different areas. So if you decide to go for bachelor's or master's in ecology, then there are certain specialization branches. So the first one is either you will have a master's degree in environmental sciences, or you will have a master's degree in biodiversity. So these are the main domains, and then further there are different specialities into this also, like dealing with global warming, sustainability, pollution, and also about biodiversity. So mainly it is environmental sciences or biodiversity, and then further it narrows down even more. Moving on to the next is geology. So as I mentioned earlier, life sciences include both the present form and the past form. So the past form is something that you study from the remains of it, like the fossils. So that is what is included in geology. So in schools right now, you in your curriculum, you will be having subject called history, right? We all have studied history. So the reason why you study history is to understand what has happened, to understand the revolution, the wars, and how the politics and the strategies were planned. And from that you gain knowledge, so that you have an understanding of what was happening around you, and from that you build grounds and you take certain measures, so that in future what is that has to be remained, or what is that has to be learned from it. Similarly, in nature we have certain markers which help us to get this information from the past. So here we have certain rocks or remains of certain animals and different species which are present in the form of fossils today. So study of these rocks and fossils is nothing but it is geology. So we are not dealing with the present life. So it is from the past life form that we are studying. So here it involves study of evolution and migration. So how a particular species evolved, then how it migrated from one part to the other, what was its pattern, how did it adapt to that environment, and from that how can we identify. So it is a very interesting and a deep domain of life sciences, that is geology. So here also you have certain degree programs associated or open for you after 12th. So it involves graduation and masters, that is BSc and MSc, and also you can go for a PhD in geology as well. So in geology, the main branches that are present is archaeology and paleontology, right? So basically archaeology is to identify sediments or rocks. So, the different ore mines that are present, or the salt pan lakes that are present. So from that you collect samples, from that you collect the, the sediments or the rocks, and then you study. That is archaeology. And archaeology is not only restricted to environment, but it is also it also contains different temples or different monuments which are present in from the historic or prehistoric times. So study of all of these factors is included in archaeology. And the similar second branch is paleontology. Okay, going ahead. I hope I'm visible and audible, and
Yes, you are.
the
Yeah,
place is correct.
doing a good job
Yeah.
actually. This was nice.
Okay. Okay.
So now you're
Going ahead.
So just to clarify, now you're explaining everything that comes under biological sciences as whole, right? And
Life sciences.
sorry,
Yeah.
life sciences as whole, and then
Yeah.
you go ahead and talk about your specialization, which is microbiology.
Yes.
But,
I will.
yeah, but those answers will fairly apply to all these fields as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Careers in microbiology would apply to careers in maybe zoology or botany. But you're just giving
Yeah.
an idea about what these different fields are in lab.
Yes. So basically, what are the different degree courses that students can look for?
Sure.
I mean, if I just say that, you can do a degree in zoology. So what basically is zoology? Because at school level, you don't know, or you don't have an understanding of what is included in that particular domain. Or if you go for master's and bachelor's degree, what are the courses that are there? So
Sure.
I'm just highlighting few points of what is included in the curriculum as such.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So going ahead, the next two domains or the branches are, one is the zoology and botany. I'm sure you must be having these subjects in school as also, like in your biology or a part of biology. So zoology basically deals with study of animals. So here, understanding the evolution, then the different species. Now you must have heard that a few of the species are getting extinct or the number is decreasing. So basically it is not a good thing. Like species extinction is not good, because it is a, like, we are in a life cycle, right? Humans, all the organisms, then plants, everything. So it is a cycle. So even if one step or one species becomes endangered or becomes extinct, it disrupts the entire cycle. So to understand this pattern, to understand the diversity, is equally important. So zoology basically involves study of all the animals as whole. So in that you basically study diversity, physiology, you study the animal cell as such, and what are the different components of a cell, how it interacts, what is the biology of the cell, and all of that. So in zoology, if you go for specialization, then there is obviously bachelor's, master's, and PhD programs that are available, and they're available in the broad domains of zoology and entomology. So entomology is nothing but it is a little specialized branch of zoology which deals with insects and pests. So today you must have heard in news, or you must have read somewhere, that a lot of grains and crops or vegetables are becoming we are wasting a lot of market because of pests or insects damaging the grains and the crops. So to understand the interaction of these insects with the particular grain or a particular variety is again a specialization area, and that whole is called as the entomology part of it. The next one is botany. So here you study the plants. So like similar to zoology, everything is just focused upon plants. So you study the plant cell to understand plant interactions. Then there are different plants like flowering plants, non-flowering plants, and also certain lichens and other parts are also associated with it. So you study the plant diversity. Now overall the trend has shifted, like everything, people are preferring more greener molecules for anything, like cosmetics or whatever detergents we use, or for healthcare products. So we are preferring plant associated products. So to gain that knowledge, a basic knowledge of botany is also important, and it has a lot of scope. So botany deals with study of all the different plants and their diversity and physiology. So the different degree programs that are currently available here are bachelor's, master's, and PhD and in the broad subject that is botany. And if you go like beyond master's and PhD, then you can have your own particular niche, which a specialization degree for that. So after this, I'll be talking about microbiology. So I'm going to be a little biased now, and I'm going to focus more upon microbiology because that is my area and that is my domain.
Sure.
So what do you mean by microbiology? So anything that is so small that is micro in size is something that we are going to study in microbiology. Basically, that is like the layman definition of it. Something that you cannot see with normal eye, but it is there and it is making a huge impact on your life. So you're studying that. That is microbiology. So there are examples of organisms or microbes all around us, and in our day-to-day lives, we come across such situations. So I have a question for Saurabh now. Saurabh, can you tell me? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. So Saurabh, can you tell me how to set a curd, like the curd that you eat?
How to set the curd that you eat? Usually, that's what I see at home. You take boiled milk and then you add 1 teaspoon of curd from the
Yeah.
okay, so that
Previous. Yeah. So leftover curd you add to that.
yeah, basically it's like the microbes which ferment
Yeah.
the milk and
Correct. So yeah, so the consistency of milk to curd is driven by certain group of organisms. So this is the image of that particular organism. The organism is called as lactobacillus. So this is present in the milk. So it is a good bacteria. It is like, if you have heard of probiotics, we've come across this word. Probiotics means good bacteria, that our body needs these bacteria. So lactobacillus is one such bacteria. So you will see this kind of bacteria present in your milk, which you consume daily, and it is good for you. It is essential for you. So this is an image of that bacteria. Similarly, if you have come across a stale bread or a rotten bread, slice of bread,
yeah.
If you look at it closely, or if you have been interested in that, there are certain green or blue colored patches that appear on the slice of bread, and then you conclude that it's got waste and we just have to throw it, right? So that particular blue colored structure is this organism here.
Yeah.
So it is basically a bread mold, which is called as Rhizopus. So it is a fungus that is associated with it.
I
So it
remember
grows on it.
I remember we did this as an experiment in science in school where we had to pick up
Yeah.
bread mold and see it under the microscope.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So it is rhizopus that you see. So basically, when you look at the bread, you do not understand that it's going to be this intricate and there are going to be so many, different little structures into it. You just look at it and superficially you think that kuch nahi hai, just throw it away. It's not much to deal with. But
Yeah.
actually, if you look the same thing under microscope, you see an entire different image, and there is so much to understand about these organisms and how they interact and how they play an important role in our lives. So this is another example of bread. The Now, if you have ever experienced the smell of the earthy smell that you get when there is rainy season, I'm sure everyone must have had that
Rain.
experience, rainy experience.
Yeah.
So there is a organism in soil, that is streptomyces here, the blue colored ones. So these are present in soil. When water comes in contact with these organisms, the reaction happens and it results in formation of a compound. That compound is the smell that you inhale. That compound is called as geosmin. So that is done by this organism that is present in soil. So in soil, you will not be able to see such beautiful, multicolored organisms directly on the slide. So because they are very micro in size, you can't see it. But if you get that soil sample in lab and if you can, watch it under microscope, then you will be able to see such interesting images, which I have pictured here right now. So another example here is the streptomyces, which is associated with the soil. Then the next here is aspergillus. So the black spots that you see on all the vegetables and fruits generally is a fungus which is Aspergillus niger. It is present. So when you look at the fruit, you say that there are spotches, you might wipe it off or clean it with water and you're good to go. You can just consume it, but actually not, and you shouldn't consume it because these certain pink dots that you can see are generally the spores of it. So they travel and they are going to be there even if you clean it with water or you wash it. They're still going to be there, so it's better to throw it off and not focus more on it. And the last one that we all have heard of and very familiar with in today's time is the coronavirus. So the reason why I am showing all of these images is that in our day-to-day lives, we are associated and we are in constant touch with microbes. It's just that we've never paid attention to it. And we don't know what exactly it is doing to us, to the body, and to the environment. So your lactobacillus is one such bacteria which is essential for our body. It is essential for our digestion and metabolism. But on the other hand, coronavirus is a deadly virus and it is killing, and it has led us to pandemic. So microbiology encompasses everything. It involves all of these bacteria, including good and the bad. And if it is a good bacteria, we have to understand what and how it acts onto the human body and what it is doing and how you can get more benefits out of it. And if it is a deadly virus, then you need to understand what is causing it to give so much pain and so much conditions to the human body, how it interacts with the human cell, what causes it. So all of this is included in microbiology. Okay. Microbiology, it all depends also upon from where you isolate it. Okay, so now, for example, lactobacilli is present in milk, like a liquid form, right? But streptomyces is present in soil. So there are different subjects. When you go for a master's in microbiology, there are different subjects. Like there is soil microbiology, there is air microbiology, water or marine microbiology, and then there is industrial, applied microbiology. So if you've come across antibiotics, like, streptomycin is a very common antibiotic that we take for, cough and cold or things like that. So that streptomycin, the bioactive molecule present in that is isolated from the soil bacteria, streptomyces. That's why the name streptomycin. Yeah. So it is not just related or pertaining to one particular field, but it is pretty diverse and it is in depth. So there are a lot of different domains and different, sections that are present in microbiology, which gives you a whole picture of it.
So as I understand, like life sciences in general encompasses like so many different things which we see around us. Like you mentioned about botany and then zoology. You're talking about microbiology, and I see that there's a lot of applications.
Yes.
like let us systematically go more into careers as like careers in these fields. And I'm
Yeah.
sure focus on microbiology per se, but I mean those things would apply to other fields as well, right?
Yes, yes. In the coming slides, I'll highlight and touch upon the opportunities and
Would be that would be
prospects.
that would be great.
Yeah,
Before
yeah.
that, I want to know what motivated you to choose microbiology and not um, the other fields in life sciences.
Okay, so it was actually a very personal experience. So
Okay.
when I was a kid, my dad used to take me to these science exhibitions or science fair that we used to have around in and around, some major institutes in Pune used to organize these fun fair or science fairs for students. So my dad used to take me over there, and there for the first time I saw microscope. So that before that I had not seen microscope, and they showed me in front of me they made a section of a stem, plant stem, and at the same time they took a drop of water from a nearby pond or something, and they just put it on the slide and mounted it on the microscope. And I saw from the lenses, and when you see it superficially, it is just a stem, a very tiny piece of stem that you can't even see. But once you see it off in the microscope, it is a completely different world. It is completely different picture that you see. You see so many little details of it which you just cannot imagine that it exists in that tiny drop of water or that tiny stem. So that is somewhere I started liking biology as such. And then when I was in 10th and 12th standard, then I developed interest for microbes and how they affect and play important role in our lives. So that was a driving force for me, and that led me to this journey of microbiology.
Interesting. I mean, you have, in very simple terms, covered all these topics which come under life sciences, which is very great. Um,
Yeah.
Let us like go more deep into it and understand what are some of the specializations and of course the job opportunities and how do you make a career out,
Yes.
how do you choose this field. Before that, if someone chooses to become a microbiologist and enrolls
Hmm.
in a course, in a college or a university,
Yeah.
what
Hmm.
are some of the courses that um, the he or she would learn? Maybe broadly, could you describe like 4 to 5 courses that um, anyone would learn in microbiology?
Yeah, so in any branch of life sciences, not only pertaining to microbiology, but
Mhm.
if you select like for bachelor's degree in any of the life sciences courses, the first year is pretty much the same. So it involves the basic, that is physics, chemistry, biology, and then you have either language and maths or other different fields. So these main subjects are there in the first year of it. Second and the third year of your graduation is where you specialize into these subjects. So if you select botany, then the second and the third year you will have subjects related to botany more, and then you'll have to drop out one of the zoology or your chemistry or physics, whatever subject is there. So
Okay.
second and third year is where you develop or you're exposed basically to your own core subjects. The first year is preliminary and it is same for all life science courses. The second and the third year is where you start building upon your specialization areas.
I see. Okay. So as I understand, you have to first enroll in a college degree where first you learn about different aspects of all these. Like you learn some bits and pieces of all these different fields, and then depending
Yeah.
on interest, as in the senior years, you basically you take
Yes.
courses which are of interest to you.
Yeah, yeah, yes, that's how it works. Yeah.
Uh, Once you become a microbiologist or like you get a degree in microbiology,
Hmm.
what are some of the job roles that one can hold, um, you know, in either industry or academia? And
Okay.
what are some of the specialization? Are there any specializations that one can pursue in microbiology
Yeah.
after getting your undergraduate degree?
Hmm. Yes. So I will talk about it in the coming slides.
Sure,
So shall I go ahead? Yeah.
sure, yeah.
Okay. So as I mentioned, as I discussed in detail about what microbiology is, so I have just put it in a few pointers here. So basically, as you I have discussed earlier, microbiology study of different organisms. It includes bacteria, algae, fungi, and also certain viruses. And here we understand the cell biology, metabolism, different genetic pathways, and also the enzymes that are associated with it. So here in case of microbiology, you have basic degree, that is bachelor's in microbiology and master's in microbiology, and then you can go for PhD. But after BSc, you have certain different options also, which you can go for if you do a BSc microbiology, which I will discuss in the coming slides.
Okay.
And the second sister branch, I would say, is biotechnology. So as the name suggests, it is a mixture of biology and technology. Okay, so in biotechnology, you will not have a subject as biotechnology. So basically, it is a mixture. It is a mixture of microbiology, plant cell culture, animal cell culture, cell biology, and also different techniques that you learn of. So
Okay.
here, basically, it is a mixture of two branches. And microbiology is in depth, and there is a, in detail and thorough branch, I would say. In case of biotechnology, you have different courses. So in all the life sciences, biotechnology is the only course which offers engineering degree, that is BTech and MTech. Rest all of the life sciences degree will have a bachelor's and master's degree purely in life sciences or pertaining to specific field like zoology, ecology, microbiology. But in case of biotechnology, you have a degree called as BTech MTech biotechnology. That is an option that you have.
Okay.
So moving on to answer your question, Saurabh. So if you decide to select microbiology or biotechnology as your career, and let's assume that you finish your bachelor's degree in microbiology. So after you do that, there are certain different options open for you, which you can, opt for. So the first one is forensic science. So this is an upcoming field actually. So right now in today's time, when we saw Corona and the pandemic hit us, so the rather than focusing upon the medicines and the vaccine, a large area was focused upon understanding what exactly is, like, how anatomically is the bacteria affecting or the virus affecting the bodies, and that was included in the forensic sciences. So there is a degree program and a diploma, a certificate program that is available after like as a part of masters. So basically for that you need to have a bachelor's degree in microbiology or biotechnology, or in some cases or some colleges also have, like, they take life sciences degree also. So after that you can go for forensic sciences, so masters in forensic sciences or a diploma course in forensic science. Similarly, a second branch that opens for you is pathology. So here also in pathology, there are different specializations. So there are diploma and degree courses available for pathology. And as you know that any blood test or any sample, diabetes also, if you have to test, you need a pathologist for it. So that is also a different, a domain, or there is a different sector. There are different components that are present into it. I don't know much details about it, but that, like, you can go for these specialization areas. The third one is genetic engineering. So here basically you can become either a genetic counselor. So basically it deals with genes. So anything that deals with genes is involved in genetic engineering. So you can either go for molecular biology to understand how genes work, and you can go research and do a master's degree in that, or you can go for genetic counseling and also take some side courses of psychology and everything, because for counseling you need to have some background of psychology. So you take up some certificate courses of psychology, and then you can work as or practice as a genetic counselor. In today's time, we all know that there are various rare diseases or conditions that are coming up, and they are generally associated with the genes and or have a hereditary, profile to it. So to understand all of those, you need a counselor. Just like a normal counselor, there are genetic counselors who specialize in dealing with the diseases, understanding the hereditary, and also how it runs into the family and how it can be changed. So that is a sector or a part of genetic engineering. Apart from that, you can either completely drift from it and go for another part, that is nutrition. So in nutrition, dietitian, nutritionist, everything. So here also there are master's program in nutrition that are available, offered by university also. I guess University of Pune also has this. And so after your graduation, post graduation can be done in nutrition and or dietitian as well. And another important sector is the food packaging industries. So as a food, yeah.
So if you do in nutrition, you're basically covering aspects like diet control or...
Yes.
Okay. Sure.
So they have a like diploma also, and they have a proper master's program also. So it is a 2-year course. If it is a master's degree, it is generally 2 years, right? So in that you have proper like semesters, and you have coursework, everything. So there are different sectors onto it, which is basically focused upon understanding the different like carbohydrates, then proteins, what is the use of it, then
Yeah.
how it affects the health parameters, then the disease, and your lifestyle patterns. So
Sure.
all of it is included in nutrition. And then there is another one, that is food packaging and safety. So University of Mumbai has these courses for masters available. So all the food industries, so generally anything that has to be packed and preserved, it requires a certain different type of packaging. So basically you say that it is, for any product there is an expiry date. So what defines or what determines that expiry date? So it is a packaging product, so you need to know the shelf life of your product and how long it can sustain, and if it shouldn't go bad. So all of these details of packaging and safety related to food are also offered as a program, a degree course, as well as a certificate courses available.
Sure.
That also option is also open after life a degree in life sciences or microbiology. And if you decide to do microbiology bachelor's and master's, and then go for different job opportunities, so you don't select any of these 5 and you just go for microbiology and biotechnology, this is just a situation that I'm discussing. So then the job opportunities that are present for you are in different domains again. So I have divided into different sectors for simplicity. So let's just discuss one by one what it includes. So after master's in microbiology, you can either go into medical profession. So here by medical, I don't mean MBBS doctor, but here you can join a pathology department. So every hospital is associated with either a pathology lab, or they have an inbuilt pathology center with them. And there they require a microbiologist and biotechnologist for the pathology studies. So they give you internship or they give you training for that, and then they enroll you, and then they you have job prospects over there. Similarly, every hospital has a R&D facility where they have this genetic counseling and hospital research that is going on. So the clinical trials and all the other rare conditions, diseases that they are testing, all of it is included in hospital research. So you can directly apply there after your masters.
Okay.
If you want to go for academics
Isha, one more
altogether.
thing I want to interrupt you here. Before that,
Yeah.
when you describe, it's very nice that you're describing all the research opportunities, but alongside, can you also talk about, what are the typical, what is the range of salary that you get, and also what is the kind of lifestyle that each of these professionals or
Okay.
each of these positions will have? For example,
Okay.
I know like in industry that it's like a 9 to 5 job, and then you get home at
Yeah.
5 p.m. and then you have a life.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it can get, there are like night shifts, for example, for nurses.
Correct.
There are these varying lifestyles. So maybe briefly
Yeah.
you can touch upon the lifestyle of each of these individual,
Yeah.
uh,
Sure. I'll do that.
and also like a typical range of starting the salaries that one would.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So if you look at the medical sector, basically, so here if you if you're associated with a research, so hospital research, so then research is generally a long process, or it takes time. It just doesn't happen overnight. So basically it takes a lot of time. So you will have to, build up collaborations and, get things done from different hospitals, or get in touch with scientists from different institutes. So it is a 9 to 5 job, but it requires communication skills. You should be able to communicate your ideas and get funds or also collaborators to do the work, because hospital is not equipped to carry out the entire research like an institute is. So you need to develop that collaborations and have that communication skills with you.
Okay.
In case of pathology, they do take internships, but pathology, honestly, it is very basic if you go after MSc, mainly because they have specialized courses like like graduate master's program in pathology. So there you actually learn about all the what are the different tests, biochemical test, or anything that is needed. And pathology job is very hectic because it is generally in shifts, and the labs are generally, majority of the labs are open pretty late night, and some of them also have this night facilities also, like 24/7 they are open. So then you have to work, maybe you have to work in shifts also if you're going for a pathology job.
Okay.
If you want to really go into pathology, then I would say that after life science, like bachelor's degree, go for a master's in pathology rather than completing your master's in microbiology and then coming for pathology. Do an entire degree in pathology. That will open more avenues for you
Sure.
if you're interested in pathology. Moving on, in academics, if you want to become a lecturer or an assistant professor, or in colleges also you have lab technicians and technical officers. So technical officers are basically dealing with the central facility instruments that are present. So there you don't need like you just need information or hands-on experience on that particular instrument, and then you're good to go. So in academics, if it is a 9 to 5 job, and then it's a lecturership, right? So it depends which subjects you get to teach. So you need to be thorough with your basics and your subjects. And for academics, to become a lecturer after your post graduation, you need to clear an exam which is called as National Eligibility Test, that is NET. So you need to clear that. NET and SET, there are two different: state eligibility and national eligibility. So in order to become a professor or a lecturer in college, you need to clear NET SET. That is a prerequisite that is needed for it. In case of industry, there is a lot of opportunities in industry. So any industry you take, you name any industry, you will require a QC and a QA person, okay, to check the quality and quality assurance and quality control of it. So most of the times the QC QA people are microbiologists, most of the times, because we know sterility better than anybody. Our entire life and our entire practical revolves around maintaining sterile conditions, and that is what is needed if you have to manufacture any product for commercial scales, right? Sterility is very important, increasing the shelf life and maintaining the like intact conditions of the product till it reaches the consumer or the market. So in industries, there are various industries like food, pharma, water testing. Also there are certain different facilities, then waste management, agriculture, textile. In all of these sectors they have a job. So starting will in all of these, so generally if after masters you will have campus interviews, and in industries will come and they will absorb people. So basically it will either be a pharma industry or food industry depending upon their intake. So majority of the colleges after masters or universities, they offer campus placements, and you can get absorbed into the industries and then you can grow. Generally the pharma sectors or the pharma and to some extent textiles, they have higher opportunities in Bangalore and Hyderabad side. So there the pharma companies are higher in number, and they have a lot of opportunities over there, even Chennai for that matter. Then another sector that you can focus on is research. You can either be a scientist or join as a technical officer or as a professor in institute, in college, or in certain private companies or sectors that are working on research oriented programs. So you can be a scientist. So to gain that position also you need a PhD degree. Masters won't suffice that need, and you will also need to clear NET, SET or GATE examination in order to be to get that position basically. Apart from the experimental or the lab work, there are certain desk jobs that are available in biology. So that I will that comes under the sector of writing. So basically when you're into biology, you write a paper, a publication, a research article basically, and it goes into the public domain, right? So it can be through any publishing house, or it can be or you can design a particular abstract or graphical illustrations that can work for you. So in any biology person or any PhD person who's pursuing PhD, we all have these publications or book chapters that we write. And similarly there are certain clinical trials also that you need to understand. So basically the desk job in biology is related to scientific writing. So either you should be able to good in writing the skill, writing on any topic. So it will not be specific, it will be a broad area, like it will be microbiology. So you'll be asked to write maybe 150 to 200 words on this particular topic, and if this is a need of the proposal, then you have to write a proposal as per that matter. So that comes under a scientific writing position. Then you can either be an editor, so you can read it and analyze it and identify the mistakes or the loopholes into it. Similarly you can become an analyst. And all of these roles, that is writer, editor and analyst, are also applicable to clinical trials. So in all the hospitals and the different companies that are coming up with different products, they have clinical trials running. So the clinical trials have a particular format that has to be followed, and that has to be revised, that has to be read, and that has to be as to the mark and as per the requirements. So that requires a thorough knowledge of biology. So you should be able to make a distinction that if this condition will work, or if this particular reaction will work or not. Because the people that are conducting clinical trials might not be of biology background. They can be marketing people or from other industry, like industrial people who do not have an idea. So whatever idea they put forth, you have to have that strong knowledge to make that distinction that this is right, this is wrong, or this will not work, this is wrong, and we shouldn't go for clinical trials. So you should be able to read the data and analyze. So that is what is included in the desk job of biology. And another upcoming field, I guess not only in biology but in I guess all the sectors, is data science nowadays. So I'm not much aware of it, but I have seen opportunities for data analyst and data scientist. But I think there are certain prerequisites that are needed apart from having a master's degree. I think you need some certificate courses or some training in order to get into data science. But yes, definitely it is also an upcoming field with a really good prospect. And it's just that you need to develop that particular certain skills, like you should be able to analyze data, or maybe to some extent coding also. So even if you're from a biology background and you aim for data science, you have to learn coding and all of these different things that come with it. It's a package. You cannot just drop it off. You have to learn at that stage of your life.
So
So yes.
at this point, I mean, I'm well aware of all the opportunities. What are these different specializations about? What will you
Yeah.
do in that? Uh, what I understand is, if there is a particular person in the audience who wants to, like, for someone sitting in the audience, how does he or she know that whether he'll be good in microbiology? I'm sure one of them is having inclination towards biology is essential.
Okay.
Uh, do you
Yeah.
require a lot of math or physics or chemistry? I'm sure you
Okay.
require a lot of chemistry, but do you require a lot of math? And what are some of the interpersonal skills or any behavioral skills that you
Okay.
need to have to excel in microbiology? Like, for
Okay.
example, writing, you will have to be you'll have to be good in writing. Your communication should be better.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
what about the others?
Yes. So these are all the job opportunities or job prospects that are present. So in order to develop the skills or to know what your interests are, basically you need to, whichever subject or microbiology for that matter, I would suggest that you, like now that all of you have access to internet, just read about some good papers or good books of microbiology. And if you can't even read one chapter of it, then you should understand that maybe you're not interested in it. Because for any subject, I believe that you need to have that interesting factor, that you should be able to read it more and more. You would want to learn more. If I read a particular chapter of a book, and if at the end of the chapter I'm like, nahi, maza nahi aaya, I don't want to do it, I don't care, whatever it is, if that is your attitude, then maybe that is not your calling. If you read about that and you have questions in your mind, that how did this happen, why did this happen, what can I do further, I don't know what will happen, I need to read more about it. So that is how you understand your instincts, your interests, and that is how it will help you to understand all of these. So as I shared my personal experience, when I saw that section from microscope, the the kind of picture that was in front of me through the eyepiece was something that was very interesting to me. And I was like, I want to know how each and every organ, each and every part of that cell is interacting, because that intrigued me. So it can be for any other profession, not only microbiology, but I
Yeah.
would suggest that find your interests first.
So
That is
you
the
require
most
a lot of,
important step.
so you will require a lot of, like, there'll be a heavy biology part to it.
Yeah.
To your
So
interest. You
yes.
require a lot
So
of math
answering
or
your
chemistry or physics.
yeah, so as I said, that the first year is a basic year, so that you have like physics, chemistry, biology, and mathematics also.
Yeah.
So that is like preliminary, that you need to have all of these things. But if you generally, people have this mindset that I don't like maths, so I'm going to go for biology. So
Yeah.
majority of them have this kind of thinking, but I would like to tell you that it never happens that way. At some point in your career, you're going to come across the other branches, because in today's time, any field, it has become interdisciplinary. From a microbiology background. I was not that fond of maths, honestly, but I'm coming from a microbiology background. But today I am doing my PhD in polymer sciences, where I have to deal with maths, I have to deal with chemistry, I have to deal with so many other things. So it just, don't restrict yourself, be open to different opportunities and to different subjects that are in front of you, read about them.
Yeah.
So quickly, I will just I had this one image here, so I would like to, share it. So when we talk about career and all these, all the sessions that Saurabh is, conducting, everybody's talking about heavy words and careers, and it starts and it is, it is pretty diverse, starting with law, then choreography, then yes, hotel management, engineering, aerospace, biology. So it is all pretty heavy. So I'm sure that you're confused as this little boy over here who just doesn't know what he wants to do and is just confused with all the so many words that are lingering around in his mind. So few pointers for you here is, as I said, that first identify your interests and how you can do that. It's not easy, right? It's not easy to know what you want. So you can develop or understand your interest by exploring the different options in front of you. It is, if you read about 5 different topics, and then after reading at the end of the 5th topic, you will realize I like the second one, or maybe I like the third one. That's how you understand what is that you want to do. And after that, if you're not able to explore or understand your interest, I would encourage you to talk to your parents and your teachers. So they will give you or share their experiences with you, and they'll help you identify what is good, what is right, and make a decision about it. And having said all of these things, understand that each and every career is important and it is worthy. You are going to get a job and it is going to give you stability. But the point here is not to run behind money right now. Right now, first you need to understand what you want to do in life, in the sense that you should be passionate about your field. You should be able to, thrive hard for that. In biology, honestly, I will tell you, the most important quality that you need is patience, because experiments fail, instruments shut down, and microorganisms don't grow as you want them to grow.
Yeah.
They grow at their own will. So
Yeah.
patience is extremely important here. And after patience, the next thing is hard work. You just cannot let go. It's easier to quit, but the more you stay, the more you learn. So you would want to, give up and say that PhD board difficult, research is too complicated, I don't want that, I'll just finish my masters and get into industry and that's done. It's okay, do that, but you should be passionate about it. You should want to do that. Research is also equally interesting for people who really like it. So each and every career is important. Don't be burdened by that fact. And even after all of this, you still don't have a plan or a path, that is okay. You can, you have time. You can, explore different options and take your time. It's okay if you don't have answers right now. You will eventually find your answers. So just keep on going.
I think this is a wonderful piece of advice that you have summarized in one slide. I think I missed one particular point pertaining to microbiology and biological science, which is like starting from standard 9th or 10th, what is the next step and what part do they follow to become a microbiologist, which is something which I have covered in the section in this session.
Okay.
I'm sure like you have to join science after clearing your 10th standard board because that is the base of any field of these fields. Later on, some of the exams that you answer and how do you prepare for those exams, and what are some of the good colleges that you apply to?
Okay, yeah. So if you are like after your 10th standard, so 11th and 12th, if you want to go for microbiology or any of the life science courses, you need to opt for biology. So you cannot quit biology. Okay, for 11th and 12th, your basic is that you need biology. So that is a requirement, because only then you will understand what are the different subjects that are present in biology. So that is till 12th standard, you need to have biology. After 12th, majority, so like medical, for medical exam they have this NEET exam. For engineering it is JEE, right? So for life sciences there is no central exam as such. It is based on your merit, like 12th standard marks what you obtain. It is, admission is based on that. This is for the bachelor's courses. For masters, if you go in any of the life sciences field, you will have to give an exam. So it will depend upon a university that you're applying to. So there is no central exam. the only central exam that is there is the eligibility test for PhD that I mentioned. Like for lecturership or PhD, you need to clear the net set exam. So that is the only national exam that is available. But if you go for certain institutes like ISER, that is Indian Institute of Science and Educational Research. So ISER has an integrated course of 5 years, that is BSc and MSc together, 5 years. So that is immediately after your 12th. So ISER has an exam. You need to clear that exam because it is a combined project, right? So it is bachelor's and master's. So you need to clear that exam in order to enroll for life sciences or a MSc integrated course in ISER. All the ISERs have that central exam that you need to clear. Apart from that, University of Pune doesn't have a central exam for bachelors. For masters, yes, they have all the exams. So some of the good institutes for microbiology would be Pune University. Then there is BHU, then the Vadodara Institute, Delhi.
Banaras Hindu University, right?
Banaras Hindu University, then VIT in the one that is in Vellore, because there's one VIT in Pune also. So I'm talking about Vellore. Then Bharati Vidyapeeth, which is another big industry, and also certain NIV, that is National Institute of Virology, then ISER, all the ISERs, IIT. So all of them have these programs. So ISER and ISER has this 5 years course. I'm not sure if IIT has this integrated course. I'm not sure about that.
They do.
So you need so the exam point of view, the central exam is only for masters. For bachelors, it's just based on your marks that you need to apply for.
Interesting. I think this covers most of the aspects. You have covered a lot of information in this in the slides, and I was just taking my time to digest all of it. So thanks, Isha, for doing this. You have also covered a lot of practical advice that you would like to give to students to in deciding their career.
Yes,
definitely, this is what I was coming to. If anybody has
so if you have any questions, yes, please.
Please feel free to write your name in the chat, and I can read it out. I can call your name, or you can type the question in the chat and I can read it out to Isha, and then maybe she can address it.
I hope it was simple and not that
it was simple. It was well made. Those slides were well made, well explained.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure you have spoken more on biotechnology and different aspects of it.
Yeah.
But the same would apply to botany or zoology, like as I said.
Yes, definitely, yes. Yeah.
Even the career options, like you can go to in academics or various.
Yeah, so majority of the sectors that I talked of, like medical or academics, those are applicable to other life sciences branches also. Like if you do botany and zoology, you still have that options open.
Sure.
So I'll answer questions, and if not, then you can give them my email ID. I'll be available. They can get in touch with me if they want. Sure.
Maybe they can email me and then I can forward it to you and get back to you.
Yeah, sure. That will also work. Yeah.
We can wait for one more minute. If
anybody sure. Yeah.
Questions. So in the meantime, I have one question for you.
Yeah.
After you pursue, so you are talking about, the various career options and aspects in India.
Yeah.
Could you please throw some light on scope outside India, and how do you go about pursuing, careers outside?
So if you want to go outside, it will be after your master's program only, because outside anywhere you go, US, UK, basically they have 12 plus 4 years, right? So engineering generally is 4 years of engineering, but our life sciences courses are generally 3 years. So you need to finish your master's, only then you're eligible to apply. It is an additional 1 year that you do, because then it comes to 5, but still you'll have to do your master's, and then you can go for a PhD or another master's in the US, so, or in any country for that matter. And speaking of biology or research oriented or PhD programs, I would say that Germany is a better option, because the kind of research in case of microbiology and biology that is happening. So there are good institutes like Max Planck University, and they have a Max Planck Institutes, which are really good in research in Germany. So I think that for PhD, if you want to go, you should target Germany for that matter. And in case if you go for PhD programs in Germany, then you need to have a basic understanding of German. So you need to learn that at least preliminary you need, not not all levels that you need to clear.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I have another question which came to my mind now.
Okay.
While we can just wait for, I don't think there are any other questions from the audience. I have one more question. You spoke about one misconception surrounding this field of biotechnology or microbiology, and in general life sciences, which is it is not just about biology. It also has a lot of
Yes.
applications of mathematics and chemistry.
Yeah.
For example, biochemistry would have a lot of applications of chemistry.
Yes.
So that is a misconception which people feel that they have to completely
Yeah.
get rid of math
Correct.
in their life.
Yeah.
Are there any other misconceptions which are surrounding this field?
So there's one misconception that when I tell people that I'm doing a master's in microbiology, the first question that they come, like, why would you do that? I mean, there is so much of memorizing things, and you have to remember so many names. So honestly, it is not about remembering it. It is very factual. So once you understand the basics of it, it is very simple. So you don't have to memorize it or remember it or learn it for that matter. It comes naturally because once then you understand what is the organization of it. Once you know that, it is pretty simple. So you don't have to be scared with the names all the coming up. So the slide that I shared, there were 5 different bacterial names. I know it can be mumbling, like what is she talking about, but it is actually simple when you know what it is and how it is reached that conclusion. So yeah.
Sure. So there is not a lot of rote learning that.
No. And also then people are scared that I will have to draw a lot of diagrams, because biology is basically about that, and I'm not good at drawing and all of that. But here you're not painting an abstract here, right? So you're just drawing what you see through the microscope. So it need not be a exact perfect painting that you're drawing here, but it is more for an understanding purpose that you need to develop. So that is also a myth that is associated with this.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we do not have any questions per se. I think students are just putting everything together. I think they're taking their time. That's okay. I can wait. If someone has any questions, they can come back to me or they can email me.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
I'll get to you with the questions. So again, I would like to take this opportunity to really thank you for coming on this platform and sharing all this information in a very simplified manner. I learned a lot, and I'm sure people in the audience would have learned a lot as well. So thanks, Isha.
Glad to hear that. So thank you again for having me. And
Yeah.
I really liked it. I had a good time.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll see you.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Bye.